Are you a peacekeeper or are you a peacemaker? In your life, in your relationships, in your family, at your workplace, are you a peacekeeper or are you a peacemaker? Now, I think we need to begin by defining the word peace. Piece of pie. It's probably my favorite definition of the word peace. Little coconut cream pie. It's my favorite right there. But peace would be this: a state of tranquility or quiet. It's often said when a baby does sleep, they sleep peacefully. Peace is a harmony in your personal relationships. Did you catch that one? Peace is harmony in your personal relationships. Are you a peacekeeper or are you a peacemaker? Peace is devoid of violence or force. Now go back to the question, are you a peacekeeper or are you a peacemaker? The peacemaker, the word peacemaker means one who makes peace, especially by reconciling parties at a time of conflict or dissension. You reconcile, you bring people together, and you try and help them resolve any conflicts or issues. A peacekeeper is someone just who maintains the peace. They try to picture like the fly in the wall. They just try and, okay, let's just, hopefully nothing goes wrong. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. I just want to be, But the peacemaker is one who promotes it, encourages it, nurtures it, grows it in the relationships and within the community. So my question is, are you a peacekeeper or a peacemaker? You know, one of the fruits of the Spirit is peace, love, joy, peace. So if you are a Christian, if you are following Christ, one of the fruits, one of the things that we should be showing is peace, devoid of violence, force, tranquility. We should be peaceful people. Matthew chapter 5, if you're familiar with the Beatitudes, Matthew chapter 5, Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," not the peacekeepers, so to speak. He says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God." I love what the Message version of that verse says. It says this: "You are blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete with each other or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family." The NLT, the New Living Version, says, "God blesses those who work for peace." See, peace doesn't come easily. We have to work for peace. So blessed are those who work for peace. They will be called children of God. Any way you want to read it, God blesses those who create, who nurture, who endorse peace. Not violence, not force, not conflict, not tension, not disruption. There are so many stories in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, that talk about peace, that give us this illustration of peace. But if you were to flip your Bibles open to Mark chapter 5, what you're going to find in Mark chapter 5 is you're going to find a ruler, a woman, and a girl. And if you've ever heard me deliver a message before, you know that I kind of put myself into the story. I kind of jump in, and when I'm reading it, I try and picture, okay, what would I do if I was there? How would I react? What would go on? But in Mark chapter 5, I need you to use your imagination with me. I want you to picture that you're Jairus, the synagogue ruler. And your little 12-year-old daughter is knocking on death's door. She is close to death. He hears word that Jesus is coming across the water. He's coming and he's landing near them. And what he does, and I can picture this, he is hustling down and he meets Jesus at the shore and he says, "Jesus, would you please come and just lay your hand on my daughter, my little daughter. Just come and lay your hand on her. She will be healed. I just know it." And Jesus says, "Okay, all right." Now try and picture the excitement. This isn't oh, cool. This is, yes, my daughter. This is great. So kind of picture him. I picture him kind of bounding along the way. Yes. And then he turns around. "Jesus, it's this way." "No, it's this way." But the crowd has stopped. The crowd is now gathered around Jesus, and Jairus is now on the outside kind of looking in like, "No, it's this way. Come on." And then you hear Jesus ask this question: who touched me? And you've got to be thinking as Jairus, what? Who cares who touched you? Look at the crowd gathered in around you. Everyone's pressing in on you. Who cares? It's my daughter you've got to go touch. She's the one that's dying. She's the one that's knocking at death this way. Now I need you to use your imagination again, but switch it around. You've been in constant pain for 12 years. You've been bleeding on and off for 12 years. You've gone to doctors and they cannot help you. You've gone to friends and family and you have just this hopeless state. You are basically relegated with the lepers, with the paralytic, with the blind. You can't participate in community festivals, sacrifices. You are an outcast. But Jesus is coming and you hear this. This is your chance. But Jesus won't talk to me, let alone touch me. I'm unclean. And anyone that comes in contact with me is unclean. So you've got to picture this woman who has this bleeding problem, this internal bleeding problem. She goes to Jesus in this crowd and you've got to imagine she's got her head down. She doesn't want anyone recognizing her. And when he touches her, they become unclean. But I want you to picture this. She's probably got her head down and she's just trying to get close to Jesus and she just reaches out and she touches his robe. And instantly, her bleeding stops. Instantly, she has relief. Instantly, she is healed. But you hear Jesus say, who touched me? What? Who cares who touched you, Jesus? My daughter is sick. She is close to death. We need to go now. And then Jesus utters these words. Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. And you've got to think, Jairus is thinking, no. It's my daughter. She's not your daughter. It's my daughter that is sick. Word comes back to you now at this point. Somebody's come from your house and they say to you, Jairus, don't bother the teacher anymore. Your daughter has passed on. Could you imagine the emotions? Oh, if that woman hadn't stopped him, if Jesus would have listened, if only he had just spoken the word. If only. Mark chapter 5, verse 36 and following. Ignoring what those people had come and said, ignoring them, he told Jairus, the synagogue ruler, he said, don't be afraid, just believe. He did not let anyone follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the home of the synagogue ruler, Jesus saw a commotion. The people were crying and wailing loudly. He went in and said to them, why all this commotion and wailing? The child is not dead, but asleep. But they all laughed at Jesus. After he put them all out, he took the child's father and mother and the disciples who were with him, and he went into where the child was, and he took her by the hand, and he said, Talitha koum, little girl, I say to you, get up. And she did, instantly. They were all completely astonished, and he gave strict orders not to tell anyone about this, and then he told them to give the girl something to eat. Now you may be asking yourself, okay, cool story, that's great, appreciate the energy you're giving to it. What does this have to do with peace?